Erwin's body was destroyed by the Beast Titan, and Armin's was incinerated by the Colossal Titan. Who will live and who will die? That's the question in this incredibly intense episode of Attack on Titan. One of the most emotional episodes of the entire series, as Eren and his comrades have to decide, will Armin live or will Erwin live? Who will get the injection? Who will inherit the power of the Colossal Titan? This is an episode which is going to have massive repercussions for the rest of the series. It is going to send a wave of craziness throughout the rest of the franchise, as a character is about to be imbued with a lot of freaking power. And going into this episode, when I saw that they were going to have to come up with this decision between Erwin and Armin, in the back of my mind, I knew ultimately who they were going to choose. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and put up my spoiler warning for this episode right here. Make sure to watch that episode and come back to this review. Coming hot off the heels of the last episode of Attack on Titan, which might be one of the most intense episodes of the entire series, I wasn't prepared for the emotional drama that was this episode. And I have to say, I was incredibly surprised to see that Armin is even alive. With Erwin, it seemed like there was a possibility. I mean, he's been through all sorts of damage before, he's lost an arm, so losing a large chunk of his side seems like something that he could have possibly recovered from. Armin, on the other hand, had had his body completely burned and turned to ash thanks to the power of the Colossal Titan. And considering that we saw all of the damage from him in the last episode, I didn't even think in the back of my mind that they could potentially inject him with the Titan Serum, which will allow him to transform and then take the power of the Colossal Titan. It was a really big surprise, and like I said, in the back of my mind, even though Erwin seems like he could have come back, it was inevitable that Armin, of course, would end up being the one who was chosen to be transformed into a Titan and to take the power for himself. He's one of the three main characters of the series. He's best friends with Eren, and there was no way that Levi was going to allow this to happen, despite the fact that he seemed pretty headstrong that he was going to make sure that Erwin was going to be the one to transform into a Titan. And that's where a lot of the conflict in this episode actually came from. The ideologies of all these characters battling over who had the right to actually have this power, who had truly earned it. It also makes that one scene at the very end of the first half of Season 3 make a lot more sense. We had a scene with Mikasa getting incredibly pissed at Levi, pummeling him to the ground and putting a sword directly to his neck. Out of context, I didn't know what was going on. In this episode, it's made all the more clear as she desperately does not want him to go through with this plan, and she wants to help out Eren as well by ensuring that Armin is going to live, as well as gaining the power of the Colossal Titan. The emotional weight behind this entire scene is really what sort of carried this entire episode, but there's also a number of other surprises about this one that I just have to mention. First, I can't believe that Reiner just escaped again. This character has been through so much shit, has received so much damage, has been captured multiple times, and yet still, he always manages to get out of a sticky situation, all thanks to Zeke. And I don't know what the deal is with Zeke, but he seems to have some sort of a weird connection to Eren, claiming that he's going to save him from something. He has some sort of a connection to his father, and I'm not quite sure what that is going to be yet, but you can bet your ass that I'm going to continue to watch to see what that's all about. So, we finally get to that big pivotal moment where it looks like Levi is going to inject Erwin with the serum, until Erwin simply just knocks it away. It's at this moment that Levi realizes that it's something that Erwin doesn't want to go through with. He's made his sacrifice, he's done his time, and he's going to entrust his knowledge and his will to the future of mankind. And that's where Armin comes in. He does indeed receive the injection, and we don't even get to see the transformation happen. And in fact, I love that we immediately hard cut to a scene of Bertholdt who's waking up, and he suddenly sees Armin, who's transformed into a Titan, who grabs onto him and bites down directly on his head as he's pleading for his life in front of all of his former comrades, probably realizing that there's no going back at this moment. The episode ends with Armin coming out of the Titan's body with a brand new body which has been reformed and healed, and he now has the power of the Colossal Titan. Who would have thought that such a little guy would now possess such massive power, as well as gaining a very powerful weapon for Eren and their team from this point on. I cannot wait for the very first moment where Armin is actually going to utilize these abilities for the first time. I'm sure he's going to look a little different than the typical Colossal Titan that we've seen from the series, but it's just really crazy that we now have another one of the three main characters who has the ability to transform into a Titan. Will Mikasa eventually follow suit and get her very own Titan powers? Does she even need them? I mean, she is a complete and total badass. We'll just have to wait and see. So, what's the rundown on this episode of Attack on Titan? This is an episode which is built upon that big conflict with Erwin and Armin, and it just works so well in every single way. I think I gotta owe it again to the amazing voice actors and all of the surprise elements of seeing Erwin just show up out of nowhere with that one soldier who just managed to survive. It was a really intense moment, to say the least, and I didn't expect any of that to happen. To me, the biggest shock was just seeing that Armin is indeed alive. I mean, the damage he sustained in the last episode seemed like there was no way that he was going to come back from anything, but thanks to the weird magical science of Titan Serum, it looks like he's going to come back bigger and badder than before, and I think that's really awesome. But I love how they're also sort of planting the seeds for the future of the series in this episode right here. The scene between Zeke and Eren, I think, is really intriguing, but of course getting to know that Armin is eventually going to be able to use these Titan powers has got me so pumped to see what's actually going to be next for the series. And again, this episode just really spoke for the absolute desperation of mankind in this series, how even when it seems like they have a massive advantage, they'll still continue to fight with one another in order to fight what they truly believe in. That was what was so powerful with all of the scenes with Levi in this episode, knowing that he sort of felt like he owed it to Erwin to sort of bring him back and give them these powers so that he could eventually fulfill his dream, not realizing that this is not what Erwin wanted at all and something that he's already fully accepted. It's really deep material for the series, which is otherwise a show about giant zombies that love to eat people. So yeah, this was a fantastic episode of the series, filled with a lot of that emotional drama that the series is known for, but also giving us a very small amount of action, which was also very appreciated. You could really feel the emotional weight on everyone's hearts in this episode, and that's why I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. Another fantastic episode on what is otherwise a great season of Attack on Titan. I would love to get your thoughts on the episode, and you can tell me all of them in the comments section below. What you hope to see from the future of the series with Armin becoming the Colossal Titan. What's the deal with Zeke and Eren? Let's just have a discussion about this episode in the comments section below. Thank you all so much for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more anime and topic videos, and make sure to help support the channel by checking out my PayPal and Patreon account. You'll find links for all those in the description box below. So I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.